How was this morning, Jelly?
It was a long morning. Strange plane ride. You know, 2 propellers. We were super excited. We booked seat number 1 so that we could get on and off. Turns out, I think it used to be a cargo plane, maybe. So the door's in the back, which is a little weird. So that didn't work out quite as I expected, but still nice to have some leg room. And now super excited to be in Portugal. It was really easy to get out of the airport. We didn't have to go through customs. And now here we are in the subway station, just waiting to go downtown to do some laundry for the first time, which is luck.
So we did manage to find some food, obviously. We dropped our dry cleaning off right after we got off the metro. Honestly, metro experience, super easy. Got on, like right at the end of the stop, it's just like home. So we dropped our clothes off. A little bit of a language barrier, but I think that she understood at the end of the day, so we'll find out if we actually get our clothes back or not. But yeah, we found some lunch in the same building. It's like El Cortes Ingles place has like literally everything that you could possibly want to imagine. It's all in one store, and that's actually where we dropped our clothes off too. So we're gonna grab some lunch and then probably go over to check into the hotel and then see a little bit of Lisbon. Pretty cool hotel. Very, I'd say, modern, which is a stark difference to the hotel that we were just in, but it's super nice. It seems to be on a very cool like shopping street. I think it's time to go explore, maybe find some coffee.
Definitely
And Kelly's been looking for some sort of pastries since since she stepped off the airplane. So we will appease. Color me mildly unimpressed. I'm not a pastry person to begin with, but I don't know.
Yeah, we had our first pastel de nata, which is a Portuguese egg tart. But it was more like a croissant crust with egg soup inside.
Yeah, it's runny egg soup inside with a little bit on top, I guess, crusty. I don't know, it's not. I expected like firm, like set custard. Not my thing. We'll find something else.
We'll try something else for sure.
Off to explore. Well, I have to say this was not exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, that's gonna need to move. It's I think a beautiful view of the water. Beautiful view of Lisbon. Yeah, a giant cruise ship right blocking everybody's view is not great. So we're about halfway through. Of course we are, the Rick Steves tour of Lisbon. It's just really nice the way to get like your grounds in the city and like highlight a few important things, but also in general kind of get the lay of the land as far as like where the good things are to be. Frankly, we started doing that because I don't know, our first like hour here in Lisbon when we kind of just wandered, honestly we weren't very impressed.
It's a little tough to figure out where you're at, what you're looking at.
Yeah. And frankly, there are a freaking ton of tourists here. I think that's probably a large part to two things. One, there's like a 15-story cruise ship out on the sea. And then two, the Marathon of Lisbon, which is a huge deal. And
I think it's their version of like the Boston Marathon here.
yeah, it's actually like Europe's version of the Boston Marathon. It's considered one of the most beautiful marathon courses in the world. It runs along the river, and then you end up kind of running through the city center of Lisbon, and then end up kind of in the main square by the water. So I think it's just really, really busy and touristy, and I don't know, we weren't really feeling it, but yeah, we're about halfway through the Rick Steves tour. It's been helpful to give some context to Lisbon, but also, you know, we walked in a really cool church that had, I guess, a lot of the stonework or columns from pre-earthquake.
1755, I think.
Yeah, 55. Entire city was like decimated by an earthquake, and then a fire, and then a tsunami. So basically, like three waves of destruction hit the city, and so it's basically a late 1700s city. But the one church that we went into it still had a lot of the original walls, and you could tell it was charred from the fires and broken in many places. But that was cool to see.
It was also interesting to hear about Portuguese influence in the rest of the world, I think. Like, I didn't know that there was so much Portuguese in South America and in Macau and China as well. And so until, I think he said, the 1970s or so, anyone that was from a former Portuguese colony automatically got citizenship here. So it also just gave a little color context as to some of the different influences that are here, different types of food or drink, and cultures that are around, and kind of why that is. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and so that also explains why there's so much continuity in the city here. It's just all of the buildings are kind of the same. They're all 4 or 5 stories. They have iron balconies. Some are tiled or just plaster. So it definitely explains a few things. We just had, I guess, the local the local monk drink, and it's like a, I don't know, cherry. You said cherry fireball, Kelly?
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Very sweet. Little cinnamony. It's kind of like cherry fireball.
I think we're going to continue with this. We've got like another hour left of wandering around, and so we're going to probably do that for a little while and see what else there is.
The other cool thing is randomly the sidewalks here are this really cool mosaic tile that is only Portuguese. I think it was called a calçada, and it's all black and white tiled mosaics throughout the city, so we'll see that as well.
So we've been here for maybe 2 hours, and principal thing number one that I have learned, outside of the fact that I don't like the traditional egg torts, is that there's not a flat piece of earth in this city. Everything is a hill. So it's gonna be a lot of workouts. Maybe be purchasing that tram ticket. Well, it's let's see, 9:30. We're back in our room.
It's bedtime, clearly.
Yeah. Well, what a night. So we spent the rest of the day just touring around. We finished the Rick Steves tour, and honestly, I think the first half was probably the more interesting half of the tour. Still learned some. We found where the train station is, which is critical for tomorrow. Did tour a few more kind of squares and plazas of things we might do later on in Lisbon, and it was good. And, on our way kind of to tour more on ourselves, we found that there was a massive protest going on because of gas taxes apparently going up here. And then at the same time, there was a second protest going on because bikers were mad because they were going to have a $12 fee every year to have a bike with a lot of horsepower. So,
and there was a third protest, which I can get behind. It was an anti-slavery protest, which is fine. Like, please protest that. But 3 different protests going on at the same time. Plus it rained, which was fun.
So we came back to the room, and I spent some valuable time on the porch watching the bikers go past. And it was really funny because they would floor their engines, like while they're at a stoplight. They would keep it in neutral and like rev their engines up. And then they would get going, and completely go the speed limit. They wouldn't rev their engines, they wouldn't floor it, nothing. They just like to rev their engines at a stoplight and then obey all traffic laws. So it was pretty funny to watch.
Although every now and again you'd see or hear a policeman going after
Yeah.
someone that clearly ran a red light or went too fast or who knows.
Yeah, but overall it was pretty peaceful, and honestly I kind of enjoyed watching the hundreds of bikes that went past from the balcony.
Traffic laws seem to be pretty strict here, so driving next week should be interesting.
Yeah, definitely going the speed limit. Already learned that lesson from all of the bikers. But yeah, then we went to dinner. Honestly, we were debating even whether we should go because of all the protests going on, but we decided just to make it happen. We had a 7:30 reservation, which is pretty early compared to the dinners that we have been having in Spain. But we get there and I walk in and it seemingly the owner dude looked at me and he just said, we take cash only. And I was like, oh, okay, well.
I did think the food was good, for the record. We had a starter, it was like a pimento pepper that was filled with a creamed cod. So the cod here it's never fresh cod. It's, ironically, we learned from Rick Steves today that cod is not in the waters here because the water's too warm. So anyway, we had a creamed cod that was stuffed into the pimento peppers. And I think it had cream, like milk cream in it as well. And then there was like a mustard balsamic sauce on the plate, which was pretty tasty. And then main dishes, Kyle ordered a sea bass fillet, which was pretty good, pretty fresh fish, seemingly local maybe. The other dish we had was a more traditional salted cod dish. It came with a slow cooked egg, which is really a over easy egg.
Kind of bummed to be back, I guess. Like I did enjoy the later dinners and kind of having a nice kind of cap to the evening with those in Spain, but maybe we'll get better as the week goes on.
Yeah, hopefully.
We got a big trip tomorrow planned to Sintra. Yeah, so we're gonna be
Castles
up early.
and palaces galore.
Yeah, so we'll be up early. I guess I'm not sad to be chilling, but yeah, that's our first night. Travel's not always perfect, especially when we're trying to do local experiences and new things, but we get through it.